Discuss about the basic definitions. What is the bond theory of the conduction? So based upon the bond theory, we will classify the materials as conductor and semiconductor and insulator. Okay. We will see the variation in the conductor and semiconductor and insulator bond diagrams. And we will move on to next topic is semiconductor. What are the different type of semiconductor, how they form, and what are the operation involved in the both the semiconductors we will discuss. And the next topic is the semiconductor devices, and which basically we will discuss about the diode. Diode, its application is rectifier, the operation and different types of rectifier we will see in the further classes. The next semiconductor device is a transistor. So basic definitions. Okay, in this slide we will discuss about the basic definition. What is electronics? The study of motion of electron in the semiconductor. Okay, it is called electronics. It is a subject. Okay, so next definition is electronic devices. So what are the electronic devices? So the device made up of a semiconductor device which can be used for the application such as amplification and rectification and modulation extra. Okay, each. So example for the electronic devices is a transistor and diode and thyristor and so on. So what is meant by electronic circuit? In the first class we was discuss about the circuit term. So what's mean by electronic circuit? A circuit consists of electrical and electronic devices, but the electronic device as the main component. So that circuit is called electronic circuit. So for example, we will consider as amplifier, amplifier. So this is the electronic circuit example. One more is a rectifier and counter. Rectifier, rectifier, and counter also. Okay. So this is the basic atom structure in which you can see this is the nucleus, this is the free electron rotate in orbital. If the energy is found, this free electron away from the nucleus. Okay. You can see the animation. If the energy is not sufficient, so that bond between the nucleus and electron, the orbital rotate electron, they rotate in the same orbital. If the sufficient energy is supplied by external or any other method by heating of the atom, the electron shift one orbital to another orbital. If the nucleus effect on this orbital is no way, in such case the electron is free orbit, free electron. So because of the free electron, the conductivity property decides for each material. So this is the band theory, in which we will describe about the insulator and semiconductor and conductor. What is meant by electron? Valency band, and what is meant by conduction band? If the electron is bonded with the nucleus, that electron band and the collection of electron energy band is called valence band. If the electrons freely move in the material without influence of the nucleus, because of that energies of the free electrons formed a band that is called conduction band. So in the insulator, there is no free electrons. So the band gap between the valency band and conduction band is very large. So, okay, the first figure shows the band differences between the valence and conduction band. Whereas we'll move to the next is conductor. The free electrons is freely available in the atom, a material, so that the valency band and conduction band is very closer because the electron ready to conduct. So the electron freely jump from the valence band to conduction band. So these both the bands are overlapped each other. Okay. Whereas the semiconductor band diagram is very uh, not closer and not very far away from as like insulator, but the band diagram is very moderately given because if the temperature or any effect is on the material, the conductivity property lies between the insulator and conductor. So what is meant by free electron? Electron that can move freely, electron without the combination of attraction force of the nucleus. Okay, there is no strict force on the electron. That electron is called free electron. Bond electron means this electron is within the nucleus, within the atom, but it is the force because of the nucleus. So it moves around the nucleus in the different orbit. Orbital depends upon the electron energy. So we can see the what is meant by the concept of hole. Why discussing a whole concept? Because we will discuss in detail manner in the PN junction diode. What is meant by hole? What is meant by hole or electron? So the absence or vacant position is called hole. Okay, it is a virtual place. So in order to understand the conductivity property of the semiconductor material, we introduce a concept of hole. So what do you mean by conductor? Basically, we observed in daily life copper, gold, aluminium, and iron. These are material treated as a conductor. Why? Because if the external charge or electric field apply, the current flows through the material is ready because there is no opposition, there is no resistant property, and there are free electrons is available in this material. So because of the external energy or electric field, the current will flow through the material because the presence of the free electrons. So that material is called conductor. What is meant by insulator? An insulator is a material, so the electric charge do not flow freely. Okay, if the external energy is applied. Okay, because the energy band gap between the valence and conduction band is very large, so we required large amount. In that case also there is no free electron to create a electrical current in this material. Okay, so perfect insulator does not exist, but some materials such as glass and paper and Teflon or wood which have high resistivity, very these considered as a very good electrical insulator. So what is meant by semiconductor? A simple remember word, it is a semiconductor means semiconductor. Conductivity property lies between the insulator and the conductor. So that material called semiconductor. In semiconductor also we are having a different type of classification depends upon the doping levels. Basically we will discuss about the two types, intrinsic semiconductor material and extrinsic semiconductor. So what is meant by intrinsic semiconductor? An intrinsic semiconductor is called an undoped semiconductor, means a pure semiconductor. Okay, so without a significant dopant and in the material. So semiconductor basically a small energy band gap. At 0 degree Kelvin, all the vacancy electrons occupied a lower energy levels. Therefore, valency band will filled with the electrons. As the thermal energy is not available at 0 degree, no electron from the valency band can jump into the conduction band. Therefore, the semiconductor material, pure semiconductor material, behave like a insulator at 0 degree Kelvin or minus 270 degree Kelvin. Okay. But the temperature as increases, a thermal energy will be supplied to the electrons so that the free electrons will available. So it's like a conducting material. So we can clearly see the material will act like a insulating material as well as the conducting material, depends upon the temperature. Okay, one more thing, it is so number of charge carriers therefore determined by the property of the material itself instead of the amount of impurities. It is a pure material. So there is a peculiar characteristic in the intrinsic semiconductor. The number of electrons and number of holes are equal because they are fixed and they are bound with the nucleus. Okay. So we can see a semiconductor material, it is a silicon, so having a 4 free electrons with bonding with a adjacent atom. If the vacant position in the band, it is called hole. Okay, so this electron is available, extra electron is available, that is the conducting electron or free electron. So these are called bands between the each silicon atom with the surrounding atoms. So semiconductor resistance will decreases with the temperature. In few minutes ago, I told you if the temperature increases, the free electrons is available increases, so that the conductivity, the semiconductor material conductivity material increases. Okay. So this graph shows the variation of the resistance and temperature in the semiconductor materials. Next, move on to the extrinsic semiconductor. So because if we are adding a doping or a doping agent, any element to the a pure semiconductor, that turn into a extrinsic semiconductor. So basically we will use the either third group element or fifth group element to form the extrinsic semiconductor. Okay, in order to create the hole and the free electron to increase the conductivity property of the semiconductor material. So there are two types of the extrinsic semiconductor material based upon the doping character, doping element. They are N-type semiconductor and P-type semiconductor. So we can see the band diagram and how they closed in the atom. Okay. One second. So back to previous slide. Okay. Here I am drawing. So this is extrinsic semiconductor. Extrinsic semiconductor. Okay. In which there are two type of material, depends upon the doping parameter, the P type and N type. Please do remember, if the doping element is trivalent, a third group element, that substantial is p-type semiconductor. If the pentavalent or fifth group element is as a doping element, that type of material is called n-type semiconductor. Okay. First, we will discuss about the n-type. Okay. So what is meant by doping means it is a process that changes an intrinsic semiconductor to extrinsic semiconductor. During the doping, and impurity atoms are introduced an extrinsic semiconductor. So because of this, what is that? The impure atom acts as a either donor. Donor means it gives the electrons or accepts the electrons. The donor or accept the okay. So because of the p-type, n-type doping levels, they are classified. Okay, here it is n-type. Fifth group is adding because of that pure semiconductor. It forms a fifth group element, that is a pentavalent impurity to a pure semiconductor. In fifth group element, we are considering as a phosphor, arsenic, and antimony and bismuthine used for the to form a n-type semiconductor material. Okay, so I'm considering, so impurities are adding using either diffusion or ion implantation process. Okay, silicon is having free 4 electron. For understanding, I am drawing silicon atomic structure 4 4. Okay, when adding a phosphorus to a silicon atom, so this material is act like a, so silicon having the 4 free electron, with this form a chemical bond and with neutralize the atom. But when adding a phosphorus, so phosphorus having 5 free electrons because there are fifth group element, so they are having a extra electron. So because of these 4 electrons form a bond with the silicon 4 free electrons, excess we found a free electron. That electron move freely without influence of the nucleus. This electron is called free electrons. So that the n-type materials, the majority charge carriers are treated as free electrons. Please do remember this one. Majority carriers. Holes are the minority charge carriers in the n-type semiconductor material. This is the story of p-type semiconductor, how they form and how free electron is created. If we consider p-type material, so we are adding a third group element. So third group elements means we are having a 3 free electrons. In silicon, we are having a 4 free electrons. Because of third group elements such as boron, aluminum, gallium, indium to a pure semiconductor, because of this incomplete covalent bond formed between the silicon. For example, I am considering boron. Boron having a free 3 electrons. Incomplete bond between the, so this is the silicon, boron and silicon. So this bond incomplete. Okay, so because of this a gap occurred. The absence of or incomplete covalent band is treated as a hole. Okay, so in p-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are holes and minority charge carriers are electrons. Please do remember these 2 points. In N-type semiconductor material, majority charge carriers are electrons, minority charge carriers are holes. Whereas P-type semiconductor materials, the minority charge carriers are electrons, majority charge carriers are holes. Okay, the trivalent element accepting. One more thing, one term we need to remember while studying the semiconductor physics, what is meant by acceptor and what is meant by donor. Okay, if the electron is giving the atom, silicon atom or germanium crystal, okay, to form a covalent band, that atom is treated as a donor. If the electron is accepting material, that is acceptor. Okay, please do remember these two terminology. Okay, this is a given clear give about the what is the n-type material and what are the majority charge carriers and what are the minority charge carriers. Discussion few minutes ago. Okay, so majority charge carriers are the electrons and minority charge carriers are the holes. Okay, and p-time current are because of the donor impurities. N-type semiconductor, the Fermi energy levels, these are Fermi energy levels, is greater than that of the intrinsic semiconductor, are likely close to the conducting band than the valence band. If we draw a conducting band and valence band, this is the band diagram, this is the valence band, upper portion is the valence band, sorry, conduction band, lower portion is the valence band. So valence band means this is the band, energy band is formed because of the bonded electron with the nucleus, whereas the conduction band is the energy band formed because of the free electrons. So here it is, the majority charge carriers are uh, free electron, so that the conduction band, if the band diagram we observe, this is very closer to the, this is the band diagram, is very closer to the conduction band. This is Eg. This is formed because of the electron. This is very closer to the conduction band. Similar manner, in a p semiconductor type material, a very large number of holes concentrated than the electron concentration. Okay, this is the p type, means positive charge. Okay, clear. In the same level, in we discussed in the p type, n type, doping impurity as donor because it form a complete bond because of the fifth group element, whereas a p-type materials are formed because of the third group element. So third group element having the 3 free electrons, so it can accept an extra electron to complete a covalent band. That's why these third group elements are acceptor impurities. Okay, the Fermi energy level below the energy, intrinsic Fermi energy level, the Fermi energy level is lies and closer to the valence band to the conduction band, because here it is holes concentration is more. So in band diagram, the Fermi energy level is very closer to the valency band. So we observe this is the valency band, this is the conduction band. Valence band mostly presence of the holes. In conduction band, the free electrons is available. So this is n-type band diagram. This is the p-type. In p-type, the majority charge carriers are holes. The white dots are treated as a holes. To understand the difference between the electron and hole concentration, the upper portion is called as the conduction band. minority charge carriers electrons in the p-type. So there is few amount of the electrons present in the p-type material, but majority charge carriers are holes. Okay, this is the band diagram of the p-type material. Now move on to the concept of the diode. What is meant by diode? So diode is a semiconductor device, does not follow the Ohm's law because it is a non-linear property. As the temperature increases, the conductivity increases. When the temperature is at a absolute temperature, means such as 0 degree Kelvin or minus 273 degree Celsius, at that particular temperature, the semiconductor material act like an insulator. So the property of material does not proportional manner. The variation between the voltage and current is not proportional manner. So that the semiconductor material treated as a non-linear material. Okay. So that's why it's not follows the Ohm's law. Whereas Ohm's law, it follows the linearity, means the variation in the current is proportional to the current voltage. V is direct proportional to I. That is the Ohm's law. So electronic devices, that is diode. Diode means it is a two-terminal electronic component with asymmetric transfer characteristic with low resistance to current flow in one direction. Please do remember a diode allows the only one directional current and a high resistance in other, means reverse bias. A semiconductor diode, the most common type is a crystalline pipeline of the semiconductor material with a p-n junction connected to a two electrical terminals. Okay. So this is the symbolic representation of the and circuitic representation of the diode. So this is the anode, this is the cathode. So here it is a p-type a silicon and n-type silicon joined together. But practically we will form a single crystalline semiconducting material, pure semiconductor material with proper dopant material on either side. A p-type p-types we are having mixing with the third group element, and n-type we are adding a doping with the fifth group element, so that we can form a diode. This is called junction between the p and n type. So this is the real view of the diode. We can clearly see the operation of the p-n junction diode in the forward bias. The diode anode terminal is connected to the positive terminal of the battery and cathode terminal is connected to the negative of the battery. So that the diode can operate in forward bias. We can clearly see the animation, the forward bias. If the anode is connected to the negative of the battery, cathode is connected to the positive of the battery, that is called diode is operating in a reverse bias. In the reverse bias and forward bias, we can clearly see the hole and electron. These are holes. I moves towards to the n-type material. In n-type material, there are majority charge carriers that are electrons that are moving towards the anode side, so that the conduction is processed. Because of this, the depletion region between the a thin depletion region is formed because of the n and p type, that is collapsed, and this barrier will across the junction. So that is called a depletion region. The depletion region will reduce because of the external energy, whereas in the reverse bias, the positive side n types positive side means p type and n type, the carriers away from the junction. Because of that, the depletion region width increases. Okay, increases. You can clearly see. In forward bias, one more thing, in forward bias, the p-type material carriers are holes. these holes are repelled with the positive of the battery. In n-type, the majority charge carriers are electrons. This electron charge has having the negative charge. This negative charge just repel with the battery's negative polarity, so that sufficient amount energy found, these electrons and holes crosses the barrier. Because of this, the current flows. Whereas in the reverse bias, the holes of the n-type, the electrons of the the holes in the p-type, electrons in the n-type attracted because of the battery terminals, so they travel away from the junction. In this case, the depletion region or depletion width is increases. So what is meant by depletion region? So we are forming a diode because of the two different type of semiconducting material with the help of doping. So in which in p side, holes are majority charge carriers, electrons are majority charge carriers in the n-type. So at particular time at temperature, holes and electrons recombination each other, they will form a bond that is called depletion region. Okay, so we can clearly see the reverse bias operation in this slide. Okay, so this is the VI characteristics of the diode. So initially we are applying a zero voltage, there is no current flow, up to a 0.7 for the silicon, 0.3 volts for xeromen. Up to this voltage, the barrier will not allow the flow of current, means the flow of electrons as well as holes. After 0.7 volt, if we consider a silicon, after 0.7, slowly increases by increasing the voltage. We can observe the variation voltage in current in the forward bias. In the reverse bias, as also a low current will flow because of the minority charge carriers. In the reverse bias operation, a PN junction diode, a p-type metal is connected to the negative of the battery. N-side region is connected to the positive of the battery. So because of the influence in p-type and n-type, the majority charge carriers will flow away from the junction, but the minority charge carriers appeared in the p-type is electron, whereas the minority charge carriers in the n-type are holes. These are flow through the junction in the order of micro or milliamperes by external force, that is the voltage is applied in the reverse bias. Okay, so the certain voltage crosses that will damage, that voltage is called breakdown voltage or reverse breakdown voltage. Okay, this is the breakdown. So when the breakdown is occurs, very large current will flow in that case. There is no barrier between the p and n-type junction. Thank you.